And here we go, guys. So I got to my dream cold plunge setup. It took me a while because I really didn't have a place to go and swim here. The lake is very far and it's not gonna be always cold, obviously in Little Rock, Arkansas, where it's subtropical nature in summer and spring, so it's not cold enough to get me. But ultimately I bought the cold plunge or the ice pod, whatever they call them these days, and essentially I went through the setup. So this video will be kind of a vlog and tips both together. I would encourage you to watch till the end because I will give you specific tips about the chiller, about how the plunge is better done, what worked, what didn't work in terms of my initial setup, right? And then later I will do more videos giving you some tips in general about how to get down to the coldest possible exposure and how to improve your health and fitness and wellness using cold plunge. Alright folks, so here we go. I'm about to hop in here. Well, first of all, I'm gonna obviously, get some water, but by the way, this is nice kind of thing for the outdoors, but I just put it here, and this kind of mat is actually water soluble, and a lot of people use it under the car if like oil spills and stuff like that. It's only half, like I did not open it fully because I don't think I really need to. That is, by the way, the case that comes with this thing. If you buy a specific, type of the pod, I guess the package, and this is where I guess I can fill it with water and then also freeze it and then put it inside instead of ice. If I like when ice is there because it's harder, but some people maybe prefer it that way. So anyways, some goodies right there, and there is actually another lid on top of this one that protects it fully. It has much more power for insulation purposes, but for whatever reason they forgot to send me, so I already reached out to the customer support. I bet that they will fix it. But yeah, a link will be in the description for all of these products if you'd like to buy. But I wanted to just speak to really quickly to the hose. I'm gonna open it out in a second, but point is the hose itself does not have this adapter thing that I bought. There is like female male entry, and I bought this kind of adapter so that then it actually goes inside the sink, which I thought to use my bathroom, but I'm gonna use my kitchen because it's just easier for me in the hallway. But anyways, there is that adapter you can find on Amazon. I can also link to it just for your convenience. And this hose is, I don't remember how much in feet, but I guess it's around 15 meters, so it's definitely enough. But I bought it with the premise that at some point I'm gonna have a house, I'm gonna have this on my backyard versus having it in the apartment. But the reason I'm showing you this, that all of this is possible in the apartment. You can figure it out. I don't find excuses for really good cold exposure for your health and performance just because you live in the apartment. You can do it all. And then you have here the drainage system, right? You can obviously open. Be careful, by the way, when you open it like that, then this thing can get jammed. So it's better to use two hands. When you will use it, this thing will open up. And there is another kind of tool that can help you for the drainage. I probably will use it so that then it goes on my porch through the door, and that way it's just gonna be easier. Anyways, I just wanted to speak to this really quick so that you're aware of some of the things you need. You need the actual pod, you need the lid on top of it, you need ice, obviously, you need to keep it cool, you need to buy this adapter and hose for you to streamline the process of getting water filled in here. And yeah, then it's gonna be all good. So let's go ahead and actually do it. Alright folks, so the problem is this. My sink, not the sink, the water in my apartment is, even though I turned on the cold, it's actually not cold at all. So I definitely need to have ice, but I didn't have time today on my first time to actually go and buy it in the store. So I just have a few trays, these two that came with the ice pod and the one that I had at home. Hopefully it's gonna create some sort of cold. It's not enough for me because I already trained before pretty much with cold exposure, so but let's try. So I'm gonna put ice in and then I'm gonna go inside basically. So woo. Actually it's not melting that fast, so that's good news. Maybe it's gonna work. Alright, let's get inside. It's not gonna be cold, man. It's not enough, but it's gonna be fun. Oh, it's a little bit cold. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Woo! It's actually a little cold, so ice works, guys. I do love it. And you know what's funny? We literally calculated exactly perfect amount of water so that it doesn't spill over when I go inside. So that's perfect. And the only thing I will have to confirm, how often should I clean it, right? How often should I drain it and then kind of clean inside? And because I don't want to do it every day. I mean, are you kidding me? It took 30 minutes for water to fill in from the sink. So anyways, it's a little chilly, but I can be here for like 20 minutes. It's not really a big deal because this is not as cold as I want it to be. So I will have to buy ice packs pretty much every night. But yeah, I do love it. It's kind of fun.
Many months later.
Yep, it didn't end there. So what happened is that lots of things went wrong with my planning of the cold plunge setup. More so, not really my planning, but the lessons that I had to learn through some mistakes were actually helpful. And so I want to kind of rewind a few things I said to you in terms of what good cold plunge setup would look like, and specifically how mine looks like. First things first, the whole thing about ice, it doesn't work. I counted that for this whatever 80-90 gallon or 400 liter pod, right? You will have to have nearly 120 to 150 pounds of ice just for one session, right? It's always gonna be ice cubes just to make it cold from 70 Fahrenheit water. Because what happens, our pipes, I told you before, they're heating up during summer and even in spring, and it sucks, right? I can't actually cool it down. Even it doesn't matter if you start with cold water, like even if it's 50 degrees, it's just gonna warm up by itself because it's inside your apartment, in my case, right? It might be inside your house. Now imagine outside, then it's gonna be insane. Unless you have some overhead, but even if you have like a roof or something, like a compartment, like a closed area, it's still gonna be hot and water will warm up quickly. So this whole thing with ice doesn't work. That's why we have this body. This whole story, by the way, with chillers, it's water chiller. It's also insane because I spent 2.5 months getting this. 2 companies. And fine, I'm gonna mention them. You can check them out. They don't pay me and I actually frustrated with both of them. But I think they were still having some decent options. It's Polar Pod company, I think, or Polar Bear something, and then the Deep Dive Wellness. Point is, they sell these type of cold plunges like Nur Cover that I bought, but they also sell water chillers, and I suspect they get them from China, and there is problems with customs border control and those you know, the taxation and you name it, right? Because it takes too much time. They say it's gonna take like 7 business days, and the reality is it takes them a month. And so they sent me first one, it had some rust in it, I didn't like it. So long story short, point is, whatever my struggle with getting this bad boy, now I got it. It's 1.5 horsepower. I'm gonna unpack it with you, and then I'm gonna do the whole setup on my own and just speak to whether it's good in terms of usage and how it works and energy efficiency and all that stuff. I changed my strategy from ice to water chiller because I need real cold, right? I need really cold water constantly. So if I'm going to sleep, right, and I want to, when I wake up, do my morning routine and take a plunge, I want that water to be cold. Right, and so now there is a nuance about sleeping close to the chiller. It does have some noise, but we will see whether it's really noisy or not. If it's like just normal sound or ambient sound of some sort, then it's fine. So yeah, so chiller is one thing. We'll try that because I want to get it down all the way to 39 Fahrenheit. My record was, I was doing minus 17 Celsius, not the water, but like the outside. And I was going on a river, not just like some cold plunge or shower. Right, and so that was real, and wind and everything, right? The river is fully iced. I did that back in Ukraine, and so that's how this whole thing started, exploring Wim Hof and so on and so forth. Point is, I want to go back to that same level of strength because now I probably barely will do 50-55, but the actual benefit comes from below 55, and I want to get it down to 39, 30. I don't think this can go down all the way up to 32 Fahrenheit, like 0 Celsius, but I think it can go to 39 Fahrenheit, 40, around that. So that's lesson number 1, the mistake that ice is not going to work. 2, cleaning. Cleaning is much harder than I thought. I bought like a special, it's from Ice Barrel. I didn't test it yet, but I'm gonna let you know how it works. I think it's like a cleaner type thing for the plunge. It's specifically designed for that, which I like. The good part, again, it's really important what you clean it with because you will go inside, and then any chemicals, if you clean it with some, you know, bad detergent or whatever, then all those chemicals will be in your body, right? Absorbed from water. So you need something good. And then another thing is actually a stabilizer instead of the chlorine. avoid, right? I don't want to use chlorine like in the pool and all that, and so I bought this one. It has zinc, let me see. Oh yeah, it says copper sulfate, few bunch of difficult words, silver nitrate, and etc, etc. I'm gonna link to this in the description. Once again, nobody pays me for like promoting them. I'm just sharing with you as of my journey. Maybe it's gonna be helpful to you. This other thing, which is, you know, if you, especially if you'll put plunge outside, if some like dust accumulates. I have the lead, but it still does somehow, like, or your skin, your hair, whatever. It's good to use this. And then finally, I thought, what if the cleaner doesn't work as good? I can also use Epsom salt. Also, it gives some nice smell. But tricky part though, you might not like the idea of getting out of water, like feeling like there is some itchiness from the salt, which you might feel. Everybody has different sensitivities, right? And then it might force you to go back to the shower and kind of essentially rinse with water, but that's a hassle. We don't have time for that, right? We want a good, fast, efficient, effective routine. So we'll see. I'm gonna test all these things. Finally, another thing for cleaning, but more so for just withdrawing water from the plunge. I have that hose, but even though the connectors, they work, I realized it's not actually connecting to these directly, right? And so I instead bought this kind of additional thing, connects to the hose, and then it works perfectly. So anyways, long story short, few mistakes is one, ice is not as good enough, in my opinion. Chiller much more expensive at the beginning, but will pay you off in a year or year and a half at most, depending on price, which by the way, I forgot about price tag. It's anywhere from 800 to 1200 to 1400. Don't go beyond that unless you have, like, you know, if you want to spend money, you can buy the ones that are 5,000 bucks or 10,000 bucks. Those can be used even for some smaller pools, right? Like big size. And they probably have cool features that you can use it both as a chiller and as a heater, right? Heating up your, warming up your water. So that's one thing. Another thing is really you need to have a good cleaning setup, because if you don't clean it, you know, unless you want to clean it every day, which sucks, especially if you, like me, will use it in your apartment, then you need to have a good cleaning setup, because trust me, I don't want to clean it every day. It's just not something I want to do. I want to clean it maximum once a week. Better even to do it once in 2 weeks. But for that, you gotta have this stabilizer, and you sometimes need to check dust and all those particles. Maybe use some salt. Let me start unpacking this and see what's up. Jesus, this chiller is larger than the, nearly larger than the plunge itself. It's funny actually. Here we go. Instructions. Always important. Ooh, so much stuff here. I think this is a filter thing. I think I'm getting to the weeds. Let me just work with this, set it up and see what's up. So, it's happening. As you can see, the chiller is ready pretty much, and you're wondering why the heck I have a spoon here. Because before we even start with the chiller, and technically I'm not gonna see it through for the purposes of the video, right? I'm gonna turn it on, but I'm gonna hop into the water already, just because I don't want to wait. I think it's pretty chilly enough. We'll look at the degrees right now, but you can see here the spoon is because the stabilizer, really we just need half of the tablespoon to put inside the water for it to be cleaner. So let's plug the chiller here. Let's put this hose inside. Does it even touch the water? Yeah, it does. But you know what? You might need to bring this a little bit closer. This hose is actually, it says it's long hose, but it's not really as long as one might think. You just need to make sure it touches the water here, because it's gonna then do the whole filtering thing. Specifically about the degrees right now, it says it's 57. I think it's about 55, 57. It's pretty cold. It's the beginner cold, the one that gives you actual benefit. That's what I told you previously. But point being is, I will have to retrain myself to get to the 39, 35 Fahrenheit. I did not do the 50, 55 for a long time. And so I'm a little bit untrained again. It's gonna take me at least a month or two to get back. So if I'm gonna scream like a baby, please don't judge. But I guess we can just hop in. Actually, let me first turn on the chiller. This is so loud. I cannot do this at night now, I know. And it says 75. It's terrifyingly strong. And there is a lot of wind coming from the, ventilator. Actually, let me show you here. So this thing, there is lots of wind. Oh my god, lots of air coming here. Okay, so now this sound stopped. That's good. See, the degrees go down, but it's weird why I can just set it. It says 65 Fahrenheit, but it's not 65, it's 55 inside because I was just, checking here. Yeah, maybe it's 58, but it's definitely not 65, so that's a little weird. Anyways, let it do the job, and as you can see, the hose is there. Just need to put more water, but yeah, that's fine for now. I'm gonna figure out the whole instructions thing and how to operate it later because I just want to go inside. Mother of God. Woo! Woo-hoo! Good. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely didn't do this for a while. And by the way, we don't need to put more water. I just realized, I forgot again, that when you go inside, obviously the water level will rise. So, but I mean, it's good. The reason I was worried about the water is not enough because this hose is just really not long. Wow, this is invigorating. I love this. You know what's crazy? If you don't move, actually, it's easy. It's much easier. But if you start moving, woo-hoo, and especially your fingers, your toes, and you immediately feel like the blood goes away from all of the body parts goes to your heart, because now your heart, feeling all this cold, will pump more blood. Let me go down to get to my neck. The beauty of this is that by the time you get out, depending on your time, which again, the real benefits do not start up until you get to 55. Now, if you've never done this before, if you even start doing 68, 65, you already will feel better, but the real health and strength and recovery, alkalinity, blood flow type of benefits come from anywhere from like 32 Fahrenheit, pretty much 0 Celsius, to 55 Fahrenheit, in that range. And so right now I'm about 55, 58 as you saw, but I guess what I was going with this is that the beauty of how it works, all of this blood that goes into your heart, right, that it starts pumping fast, but then when you get out, you will start feeling like your chest is hot because again of all of that blood, and then all of the blood will go back to all of your, to your legs, to your arms, to your fingers, to your toes, and that flow is the one that actually removes the toxins from your body. It's like the best antioxidant kind of solution ever. And so if you like eating like cheat meals and trans fats and burgers, ice creams, all that good stuff, then this will help you to eliminate the sort of bad effects of your nutrition. And again, that's one thing that's specifically helpful to me. Another thing is muscle recovery. If you really go hard in the gym or pretty much anything in terms of athletics and sports, that's going to be helpful. And just for mental, actually it's more for, even sometimes I find it more for mental health, mental health and mental strength, in a sense that if you can overcome your fear of cold and push the threshold and push your limits, you will become just stronger, more confident. Oh, the chiller sound stopped for whatever reason, I don't know why. So if it's not going to be that loud the whole night, then it's fine. I can actually leave it here for the whole night. The purpose that I want for it to be for the whole night, as soon as it stopped working, the hose wanted to get up. See, it goes up. I'm gonna hold it for now. So anyways, the point was that I was worried that this sound will not let me sleep because I sleep in the living room. Yep, I made my room as a fully an office, and we have 2 bedrooms. My pops is with me, and I kind of don't have space to put my bed in right now. And we don't even use living room, I might as well sleep there. Long story short, I want the water to be cold when I wake up at like 6:15 in the morning, so that then I take cold plunge immediately, instead of me wake up in the morning, turn on the chiller, wait for 3 hours and do it later, because that way I'm not gonna do it before my workout in the gym, and I will have to do it like after first couple of hours of cognitive work, and it makes no sense, because what you want, this is better than coffee. Like, you can ingest yourself a 300,000 or million or billion milligrams of caffeine, and this one still will wake you up better. Just trust me. Now, I'm not saying you should not pair it with coffee if you really love it and just enjoy it and just want an additional boost, but I'm just saying this is something I want to do in the mornings, not later in the day. Right now I'm doing it late in the day just for the purposes of this video. Anyways, I think it's time for me to get out. It was really cool, and I hope that I'm at least red in my skin, because that's what you want. You want your skin to become red from this cold, and you want to feel a little bit of a pain because it gives you good effect. Woohoo! I don't know if I'm really red because it's not that cold, but yeah, it's still better than like 70 Fahrenheit from the freaking pipes that don't work. But yeah, please do let me know how it can be helpful in your cold plunge, cold exposure journey, setup, health, wellness, fitness, you name it. Because at the end of the day, I coach folks to be productive, to be high performers, and I think this will help you with that for sure. Alright, thanks for your attention, and I see you in the next video.